one, he can make them, and the guys are looking for him more. And there's got to be a balance, obviously, because he's so good inside. And I think we're seeing a lot of growth. I thought the Michigan game, he had watched a lot of film going into that game with Wagner, and I think he really saw how he's got to run the floor. And he ran the floor and he posted as well as he's done since he's been here. And that's what Tom does. He just takes it all in and he learns. And so we got to get consistent with that, of how he runs the court and how he posts. But then have a balance to it, to where if he's at the trail big, to be able to get him the ball and shoot some trail threes as well. That's something that for the last 3 years with him has never even been an option, and now it's not just an option; it's something that we want. So it's great having a 7'1" guy that can expand your offense that far out.
Are you comfortable with the other two bigs shooting threes? Their percentages have not been as good.
Well, Alex in particular has made shots. Alex, I think his percentage was a little bit better. He had a tough night at Michigan. It was his first road game, in 2 years. Same with Prince. And then we got 3 guys that had never played a road game. So not so much worried about Alex. Gigi has obviously been a senior. That's something that through his development we had hoped that the three-point line would be a weapon for him. I think it still can be, but he's got to do much more inside that three-point arc now. I think with he can drive the ball. He's got good stuff inside, because there hasn't been any proof, as you mentioned, of being able to knock that thing down consistently. So I don't think that I want that to be his go-to. Not that I'm eliminating it, because I think we got to get more threes up. But he's got to be very choosy in what ones he takes.
With 3 games left before Pac-12 play starts, where would you say you guys are at in terms of where you want to be?
Well, I really like where we're at, because I didn't know, we're looking at, November, if I remember right, around November 10th. Things changed for us around November 8th. We'd had 5 weeks of doing it one way, and then one day hits us, and we go from 11 in that rotation to 8. Now, since then, Alec Wolf has been somebody I think we got confidence can bring him off the bench and do some things for us. And Ike has made a lot of strides in that time as well. So, I do think we can go 10 deep when we need to. But then it's also trying to figure out, in those 8, 5 of them didn't play last year. So it's getting a lot of experience. And I thought we did some good enough things against Georgia Tech to get that one done. And there wasn't any more distractions anywhere in the country than what we'd had. So for our guys to get that win and then go to Kansas City and get a split against 2 sound teams in Wisconsin and Creighton, and then really go to Michigan, who just won at Texas. They've already got a very good resume. We lead for 35 of those minutes at Michigan. So very, very pleased. We finished against Wisconsin. We finished against some home games here that were some tight games. We didn't finish in the Michigan game. And I think some of that has to do with we're playing in front of our first true road game. The neutral games are never 10,000 people against you like it was at Michigan. So that's different for a lot of our guys, and I think we'll be better equipped next time we go out on the road. But I also think we got a little bit tired. I thought we got wore down. I thought that, and that's a concern going against Cincinnati, who prides themselves on doing that to their opponent. So we've got to find ways of getting Tom a little bit more rest, and in particular Aaron. I can't be playing Aaron 38, 39 minutes. So we've got to figure out to where we can get him to 34, 35. I think it'll be much, much more efficient that way.
Following up on that, is the conduct review done?
No, it's not. It's not done, but we've heard the process is nearing end, and my hope is that we'll hear something. We're towards the end of the week now, if not the end of this week, by early next week.
Is it going to coincide with the end of the quarter? Is that how it's?
That I have no idea. I don't know on the coincidence of dates, because I haven't had anything to do with any of the interviewing process or who's doing the interview or any of that kind of stuff. So I think it's just the timetable, the individuals that's involved from the student council versus the players themselves going through it with their schedules. But I know both Jalen and Cody are done. They completed all their finals and paperwork by Monday evening or first of Tuesday, so they're done.
You mentioned you would have input on the decision. Have you already talked to the people?
Well, I don't have input on. I'm not going to have any input on what comes out of the council. Once it comes out of the council, then there'll be input From the council to, I'm sure, the chancellor to Dan, third floor, whomever those individuals might be involved, and then obviously me being a basketball coach of just what we do moving forward, depending on what comes out of that. The decisions are made with the council. So I don't have input until that's cleared. Once that's cleared, then I'll have my input on what I think's best.
What would that be like for you guys to finally know what you're dealing with probably this week? How much of it?
Well, I think it's just one more of those distractions that we get behind us. And again, the guys in the locker room have had nothing to do with any of it. And that's why I'm very pleased with where we're at. Getting back to your question of where we at, our 9 games that we've had a game canceled. We've had immense travel. We've had all kinds of distractions that you usually don't get second week in December. And so this young team's had to deal with a lot, and yet they're 7-2 and playing well. Even the 2 games we lost, we didn't defend very well against Creighton. Now, since the Creighton game, our defense has taken a huge hike, and we've gotten a lot better. And we just wore down against Michigan and didn't close it. So a lot of those things I like. It's just hopefully we can get this last piece behind us, and then we know exactly what's happening. We're going to know, where Cody and Jalen are, just what happens with this year's team, what their availability is going to be, if any. But whether it's practice, whatever that may be, just getting them back engaged, because they've been separated from the team for quite some time. So I think just getting some resolution there will be good.
The Ball brothers have officially signed. Can you kind of characterize the Ball era at UCLA with all 3 now?
Well, I really had one. Lonzo obviously was terrific. The time that I got Coach Lonzo was incredible. Very respectful young man, somebody that didn't miss class, didn't, on court, off court was incredible. Became a good leader by the time it was all over with. Knew what you were going to get out of him, made people around him better. Knew he was one and done probably the day he stepped on campus, and never acted that way. You didn't see an entitlement. You didn't see anything that sometimes you see in kids like that. So he was a complete joy to coach. Really enjoyed our entire time there, and obviously things have worked out well for him. Being able to stay locally has been great with him. So that I couldn't have asked for any more. It was a lot of fun, and very, very respectful young man that I appreciate. And then obviously the other 2 didn't really get to. When Jello was here, he was terrific. Through the summer, through his academics, through coaching him on the court, he was tremendous. I mean, he was late one time, and he came in frantic, apologizing, and took his responsibility of it. And so those are things you appreciate as a coach. So have no issues that way. And obviously with Jello and Mello, just wishing them the very best of luck. I hope things really work out well for them, and I hope, just like Lonzo, I hope they have terrific pro careers.
You said you hope things work out with them. What do you know about the Baltic League, and what do you think their prospects would be for
I have no idea about the Baltic League or where that city is or anything about it, so I have no idea.
You had mentioned that UCLA had said that he needed to mention Trump. Do you have a reaction to that?
No, I had nothing to do with that, so I have no idea. I just put my statement together.
And on LaMelo, obviously a big recruit for you. Now that you can talk about him since he's signed and no longer a recruit coming here, what does that mean for that future class? And would you consider that disappointment or whatever that you lose him for that?
Well, it's just the way it is. It's something that's happened, but it's 2019, 2020 class, so there's all kinds of time. So right now our whole attention is finishing the 18 class. We've got a great start to it with the 3 individuals that we signed in November, and we've got a lot of work to do now up until the signing period in April to conclude that class, because it's going to be back-to-back big classes. Just like this last class was. So you're going to have back-to-back big classes. So even trying to project what the 2019 class is going to look like at this point is hard for a lot of reasons. 1, the one and done. 2, on the table and looks like something's going to pass relatively soon is eliminating one and dones. So the 2019 class is going to take on a whole nother, once we figure that out, that'll probably be the first class. If things progress the way we think they are, that's probably going to be the first class that gets affected by what could be new policy to where players can now come right out of high school. So, if you're top 10 in that class, you odds are you're not going to college. So there's a lot of variables that are going to happen with the 2019 class. So if this was this year, I think it would have a lot more ramifications, knowing that we're really 2 years out from that, of really getting the 2019 class is 2 years out from playing here. So that gives us plenty of time.
You mentioned the first road game. Were there any physical signs that you could tell that the road environment was kind of wearing down on your team in that game?
Well, I think the physical signs were just in watching tape. I thought we really executed what we wanted to do defensively through 35 minutes. Offensively, we got the ball sticking again. And when our ball sticks, we're not very good because we pride ourselves on full court continual motion. And when the ball's moving and touching everybody's hands, things get better. And that game, it got stuck a lot. So offensively, I was much more disappointed in our offense in the Michigan game than I was our defense. Now, it ended up affecting us because with about 5 minutes to go in the game, we stopped defending the way we had defended for 35 minutes. And the good lesson for our guys is even when the offense isn't doing what it's supposed to do, had we just defended for 40 instead of 35, I think we probably walk away with there with a win. But our offense affected our defense a lot. We had 20 turnovers, and we can't be a team that, again, we want to play fast, but we can't get hurried up to where we're turning the ball over at 20 clips. We got to keep that around 12. If we can keep that around 12, give ourselves another 8 possessions in the Michigan game, I think we win that game. And so those are the lessons we learned. I think the wearing down was that I saw on tape was more Tom and Aaron, of just a lot of wear and tear on what we're asking them to do, the responsibilities that we've given them, and now not getting them any blows during the game. And that's something I've got to be able to do. And part of that's trusting the young guys. And I think now we've had that one road game there. I think there's going to be more trust in that these young guys are going to get a little bit more familiar with what it's like to play on the road.
Do you believe you guys need a marquee win before Pac-12? You've got basically 2 more chances for that.
Well, 3. South Dakota, they're good. Tyus has got that scout, and he's already told me about that. So we've got 3 key games left. Obviously, having the game canceled and not getting to play that game, and that was going to be a good RPI game because Montana has already had a very good schedule they've competed in. So the Montana game was going to be big for us, and obviously we haven't got that rescheduled yet. Don't know what's going to be the impact there. But you've only got 3 games left now before you break for Christmas. One of them's a nationally ranked team in Cincinnati here. And then, as you mentioned, playing Kentucky and New Orleans, who could be top 10 the time when that happens. You just got to take it game by game, and we got to keep getting better. And we're coming out of finals this week, so you never know how guys react to that. Up late, a lot of things that they've got to do. We've got, I think, I would say we've probably got 3/4 of our guys still have finals left on Friday. So they're not going to be getting concluded with their finals on Friday until about 1 o'clock. So we're trying to do the things we got to do in practice to be cognizant of that, so that they get time to get out, and yet still doing the prep that we got to do. 1 for Cincinnati, but 2 of just getting better. Because the thing I've been most impressed with this team, we've gotten better. Even in the Michigan loss, I thought we were better in the Michigan loss than we were in those 3 games here at home. And that's something that's a positive. And now we got to go to another level because I think Cincinnati's the best team we've played to date. They're physical, they're big, they're experienced. A lot of these guys played on the team that we played in the NCAA tournament last year. They're battle tested. They play a very physical style. Best rebounding team we've played. A unique defense that does an awful lot of switching. And they put a lot of pressure on you offensively, including the backboard. So it's going to be our biggest test we've had.
Montana, you mentioned that game might be made up. Do you have any update on that?
I know we've been working on it. It's hard finding the schedules that match because everything, just the first schedules that we've looked at, both teams would have to play 3 games in 1 week. And I'm not sure that Montana or ourselves are wanting to do that during conference season. So that's the trick, is trying to figure that out. I think both teams want to play it. I know we want to play it, and I know Montana is excited to play it for them because it's a big game for both of us. But whether we can find a spot in the schedule or not, it's going to be difficult.
Have you been